Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope y'all had a good week. Hope y'all have an even better weekend. So, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but every so often, or in my case, quite a lot, I get nostalgic. I keep thinking about how things used to be when I was younger, during my childhood, when the world wasn't as crazy and as ridiculous as it is now, when things were simpler. And it got me to thinking, what about my life would I change? If anything at all. What would I change about my life? And there's quite a few things. I don't want to discuss everything because we'll be here all night. Come here, Bella. Now, Bella was sleeping in this recliner, but as soon as I turned the camera on, she went to the door. She's just staring at the door. So I took the recliner. So yeah, what would I change about my life? I think the biggest thing, I'll say, I wouldn't, it's not a change, I would say, but something I would do, knowing what I know now. If I knew back then what I know now, I would done. This is the main thing I would do. I would appreciate my childhood more. I would definitely treasure it more. I did enjoy my childhood, but I would appreciate it a lot more, and I wouldn't be in such a hurry to want to grow up. You know, when I was a kid, I kept saying, I can't wait till I'm an adult. Now that I'm an adult, I was like, man, I wish I could be a kid again. I wish I would. I would definitely, if possible, enjoy it even more. I wouldn't be in such a rush to get childhood over with. I wouldn't put so much thought into, man, I wish I was an adult already. I would not even think that. I would definitely enjoy it more and treasure it more and not be in such a rush to grow up, because, man, if I knew back then what I knew now, I would definitely enjoy it more. Yeah, because when I was a kid, I had a good childhood, man. Had friends, I had fun, enjoyed myself, but I was always like, man, I can't wait till I'm an adult so I can do this. I can't wait till I grow up so I can do that. If I can go back, I wouldn't do any of that anymore. Come here, Bella. Come here. No, we're not playing this open the door game. Not yet. Come here. She does this every time she's in here when I record. She bangs on the door to get out. I let her out, close the door, then she bangs to come in. But yeah, my childhood, I wouldn't be in such a rush to grow up if I can go back. Another thing I would change about my life, I would definitely take better care of myself. Now, I was never a smoker. I was never a drinker. I've never done drugs. I tried smoking one time. It was not for me. Bella. I tried smoking one time, and I took one long drag of the cigarette. Tried to get it all in one drag. Did not end well. That was my first and last attempt at smoking. Alcohol-wise, I'm not good with alcohol. I cannot stand beer. Every beer I've ever tried leaves this horrible, funky aftertaste in my mouth, and I hate it. I'm not really a wine guy. Now, I'll drink, the only thing I could drink and tolerate was Smirnoff Ice, but I haven't had a Smirnoff Ice in at least 10 years. Do you want out, Bella? Or are you just playing your little game? Alright. Let me let Bella out and we'll continue this conversation. Alright, we're back. We'll see how long it takes you to bang on the door to come back in. So yeah, I was never a drinker, never a smoker, never done drugs. But I would take, if I can go back and change it, I would take better care of myself. I would definitely eat healthier. I would work out more, just take care of my health and my body. You all know why. For those of you who've been here for a while, you know my health history. Blood clots, cancer, heart failure, defibrillator. Lord knows, I hope that's it. I'm throwing up the white flag. I give up, dude. No more. So I would definitely take better care of myself to help prevent all of this stuff if possible. Besides there was some greedy things I would change. Obviously, I would, no, that doesn't make sense. I was going to say I'd place bets on the Super Bowl winners, but I wouldn't know who the results would be back then. I'm thinking like Back to the Future and Biff and his almanac. I don't know, man. I guess the main thing is I don't want to say I didn't appreciate things, because I did. I would just, how do I want to say this? I would learn to enjoy things more when I was younger and when I was a kid. I would learn to enjoy those things more than I did. I still think about when I lived in Italy, we used to go to this place called Carney Park during the summer. That's where I learned how to swim. I'd enjoy those moments more. I'd enjoy moments with my friends more. And it's funny because now we're getting off topic. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I was going to start with what would you change in your life, but now we're going down memory lane, so screw it. Let's jump down the rabbit hole. Let's have a conversation tonight. I remember sleepovers with friends. I would enjoy those more too. Those were always fun, man. Get a bunch of your friends to stay the night. When I lived in Italy, that was the first sleepovers I remember. My best friend in Italy, Giovanni Masucci, who I've tried to find for years and years and cannot find him because I didn't realize how common a name Giovanni Masucci is in Italy, and I've seen so many Giovanni Masuccis and I don't recognize any of them. So Gio, if you're watching, if you remember Stephen Brown from Italy, Pinatamari, get in touch with me, man. I miss you, dude. That was my best friend in Italy. When we moved back to the States, I cried because I wouldn't see him anymore. I kid you not. And he actually gave me a going away present. He bought me Ninja Turtles 2 on the Game Boy. Ninja Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers. That was his goodbye present to me. And I played the hell out of that game. So Gio, if you're watching, get in touch with me, man. I miss you, dude. Been trying to find you for, God, over 20 years. But my first sleepovers I remember were in Italy. It was Gio, a guy named Matthew Parker, and I think that was it. Just Gio and Matt. And Matthew Parker was as skinny as a toothpick. I remember that. He was so skinny. But we'd have sleepovers. Sometimes it'd be at my place. Most of the time it was at Gio's place because he had a huge house. His parents had a huge house. I don't know what his parents did, but Gio's parents, obviously they have money. And we used to, at my house, we used to have sleepovers, but we couldn't get real loud because my parents would come out and tell us to be quiet. So at Gio's house, we got rowdy. And when I say we got rowdy, we played Nintendo and watched wrestling all night. Gio's actually the one who got me into wrestling. He had all the wrestling toys. He had all the Coliseum home videos. And I had watched wrestling before I met Gio. We had one channel in Italy, SEB, Southern European Broadcasting, and they would show the pay-per-views for free. But I can't remember if it was like a year later, like a year after they happened, because I remember we came in, the apartment buildings we lived in, the Pinatamari Towers, they had like a playground out there. It was the towers, and then there behind the towers was this huge playground with sand. Like the ground was nothing but sand, and then the Mediterranean Sea right behind it. So it was like the playground, then the beach and the sea all behind each other. So we came in from playing at the playground and turned on SEB, and it was WrestleMania 6. It was Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. They were just coming to the ring, and I remember seeing the Ultimate Warrior, like, that dude looks awesome. He looks cool. And I see Hulk Hogan, and I was like, I wasn't really impressed with him. I was Ultimate Warrior guy from that point on. And so I watched that. First time I ever watched wrestling. Then I met Gio. And Gio was big into wrestling. He had all the Hasbro toys. Were they Hasbros? I think they were the Hasbros. Like the Ultimate Warrior. It's like you couldn't pose them. They were the hard plastic. And the Ultimate Warrior figure had his hands up like this. And then you pressed his head and his legs down. And you would go like this. Like I'm dry humping something while raising the roof. Yeah. Anyway, he had all those toys. He had all the Coliseum videos. He had the wrestling ring. And so he would let me borrow the Coliseum videos, and I would get caught up, and then I'd start watching wrestling on TV. So my wrestling fandom is owed in large part to Gio. And so when we have sleepovers at his house, it would consist of pizza, playing the Nintendo, and when I say Nintendo, I mean the NES, and watching Coliseum home videos. And one night, we had a sleepover at Gio's house, and he had a surprise. He had a brand new movie, VHS, that he was so excited for us to watch. He hadn't seen it either. So we have our pizza, go to his room, he pulls out the movie. It's No Holds Barred, starring Hulk Hogan. And folks, let me tell you, that was the coolest movie in the world to me when I watched it. It's god awful, but back then as a kid, No Holds Barred was awesome. Rip was awesome. Even though he jumped like 20 feet out of the top of a limo, and one line he was grabbing a guy saying, "What's that smell? Dookie." I thought it was the coolest movie ever, so we watched No Holds Barred, and it was like a big deal to us. That was fun, man. God, we have gotten so off track with what this video was supposed to be. Oh well, I don't care, man. But yeah, I've been trying to find Gio for over 20 years now. We moved from Italy back over here to the US in the summer of '92, and I remember that because the Summer Olympics in Barcelona were going on when we moved, because the furniture had already been moved out of the apartment, and we were sleeping in cots. We had cots in the apartment that we were sleeping in, and we moved back the summer of '92. And yeah, man, I've been trying to find him since, gosh, 2001, 2002. I go on social media, I type in Giovanni Masucci, and there's so many Giovanni Masuccis, and I don't recognize any of them. So I don't know if I'll ever get in touch with Gio again. But yeah, that was my best friend when I was in Italy. We did everything together, man. Everything. Sorry, my phone's going off. You know what's crazy? When I said that, my phone vibrated. I was like, man, I hope that's Gio. What an idiot. But yeah, gosh. There were so many things when I was younger. Then, you know what? I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what I'm going to call this video. We might just call it, Random Ramblings. We'll make it a weekly thing. We just ramble about shit. But yeah, when we moved from Italy, none of my Ninja Turtle figures made it. None of them. I don't remember a single one making it. I can probably guess what happened to them, but I'm not going to go there. Let's just say sticky fingers might have been involved. But I had a bunch of Ninja Turtle figures. That's where I got into Ninja Turtles for the first time, was in Italy. It used to come on Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings we had it's funny because in Italy, like I said, we had the one, if you didn't have cable, you only had the one channel, Southern European Broadcasting. And SEB would only show cartoons on Saturday mornings. That was the only time you would ever see cartoons on SEB. We had Ninja Turtles, Denver the Last Dinosaur, Cops. We had others. I can't remember. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. We had that. Oh, what else do we have, man? There were others. I just can't remember. We had the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, Cops, Denver the Last Dinosaur, Ninja Turtles. I'm sure there were others. I just can't remember. But I became a huge Ninja Turtle fan. We actually would record the episodes off TV. Y'all remember that? Recording stuff on your VHS from TV, recording shows on VHS. Man, yeah, we used to record the shows. I used to get the Ninja Turtle comic books, which threw me off because they were not like the cartoon. The comic books were not child friendly. They were darker and grittier, a lot more violent. Oh man. Yeah, so I became a huge Ninja Turtle fan, started getting the toys, the video games. And I remember on the base in Italy, the BX, the toy section, was in its own little area. You had the BX, and then, like, you know how if you go into Walmart, the garden center, it's like, you go into Walmart and then you go into the other the garden center is its own little section. That's how the toy section was at the BX on base in Italy. And in the corner of the toy area, they had a couple shelves dedicated to nothing but Ninja Turtles. Only problem is, the only figure they'd ever have was Ray Fillet. There'd be like 50 to 60 Ray Fillets and nobody else. So every time you go in there, all you see was freaking Ray Fillet. I got so sick of Ray Fillet. Oh man. When I lived in Italy, I had my first crush too. Yeah. First crush, man. Although I didn't realize it until I was the last one to realize it. As weird as that sounds, I had a crush on her but didn't really realize it until after everyone else did. Should I say her name? I don't know if I don't think she watches the videos. We still, believe it or not, we still text each other every now and then. She actually came down here to visit back in 2018 when I found out I had cancer. But her name was Erin Kingdom, my first crush. So if she's watching, surprise, Erin, you're my first crush. Oh boy. I might have just opened a can of worms with that one. Yeah, my first crush, man. And everyone, and it's funny because everyone in the family knew I liked her except for me. I was the last one to figure it out. And I'm the one who had the crush, so go figure. Oh gosh, man. So yeah, Italy was, I look back at it now, I would definitely appreciate living in Italy more now than I did as a child. And I will say, to this day, I've never had a better pizza than I have in Italy. There was a pizza place right down, like, close to the apartment buildings, the Pinnatamari Towers where we live. It was either Ocean View Pizzeria or Oceanside Pizzeria, but man, best pizza I've ever had. Then there was a restaurant called Pizza by the Meter, where they would actually sell you pizza by the meter. And I've talked about this in a video I did a few years ago, my memories of living in Italy, so I don't want to rehash too much, but the other thing I remember is the school buses were not the school buses we have in the US. These were actual, like, fancy buses with the upholstered, not the leather seats, but like upholstered seats, had air conditioning, had a little TV screen in the front of the bus where you could watch VHSs. Yeah, those were our school buses. So when I moved back to the US and saw the school bus here for the first time, I'm like, what in the crap is this? But yeah, and then we came back here in summer '92, and we stayed at my grandparents. We lived in my grandparents' house when we first moved back. That's when we found out my grandma had cancer, and then she passed away in '93. We moved to North Carolina in '93 because we lived on base our first year here. In '93 we lived on Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, and that was fun. That was fun. Had some friends there. Yeah, just had fun, man. We'd go outside and play every single day until the street lights came on. You can't do that now, man. I mean, we used to stay out there until it got dark enough for the lights to come on. Now, can't do that. If I had kids, I wouldn't let them do that, man. Maybe it's a good thing I don't have kids, because I honestly think my kids would hate me. Because I think I'd be overprotective, especially with how crazy people are these days. Yeah. So maybe it's a good thing I don't have children. I don't know. I don't think they like me too much. My nieces think I'm kind of cool though, because I play video games. I let them play too, so I got cool uncle points going. So yeah, we lived on base for the first year, and then January 1st, 1994, we moved into this house, and I've been here ever since. So that is 31 years I've lived in this house. Wow. That's crazy to me, man. Just saying it out loud, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. It really doesn't. It doesn't seem like it's been 31 years. But believe it or not, I can remember when we first moved in, when our parents told me and my brother, which rooms do you want? They had, of course, the master bedroom. I picked this one because it was bigger. Sorry, Matt. And I remember when we first moved in here, we didn't have our TV. We didn't have our own TVs, my brother and I. So right over here, where I have this drawer with my games, my retro games, I had little stackable storage containers with my action figures in them that went right there. And what else? I had a dresser drawer. I think my dresser drawer that's here was right there. And the bed was in that corner. The head part of the bed was against that wall, and it went out like that. So that's how it was when I first moved in here. And then once we got our first TVs, our little, I think they're 13-inch TVs, which I still have in the attic. I did a video on that years ago. That was a game changer for us. Man, 31 years in this house. 31 years of having this same room. I'm thinking back now, and I remember through the years how much this room has changed. I mean, I used to have a big, huge fish tank over here. I had a second, smaller fish tank on a dresser over here. At one time, I had a large bookcase with a stereo system on it. I had all the VHS movies in here. Man. I had a huge entertainment center too. I don't know if I still have the pictures of my old entertainment center on my PC, but if I do, I'll put them up here if I remember. But I have pictures in a photo album of all my fish, like the fish tanks, and man. Like, is it so crazy to me to think that I mean, it's weird because I know I've been here for 31 years, but just like saying it out loud, just like I don't know, man, it hits you weird. It's just making me think of like, how much this room has changed in the last 31 years. Whew, man. Anyway, I don't know how long I've been rambling on, but it seems like it's been a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and end this now. This was supposed to be a video on what I would change in my life, but we kind of got way off track and went down a rabbit hole, so and I kind of enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm gonna make this a weekly thing. We'll call it the Random Ramblings or something. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make this a weekly thing, man. Just like random conversation. Yeah, we'll do that, man. Like, we'll do like every Friday, just have like a random rambling or something. This was fun, man. This was really fun. We got way off track, but I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think next week, I guess I can talk more about my childhood. We'll save that one for next week. We kind of started this week, but I think next week, on next week's episode of Random Ramblings, we'll talk more about my childhood. So yeah, if you're wondering why there was a chair over there, that's where I was sitting before Bella wanted to play the door game, so I stole my recliner back from her. But yeah, this was fun, man. I'm gonna end it now before this gets way too long. But I think we'll make this a weekly thing. We'll make this a Friday night thing, man. Random ramblings every Friday. So, completely unexpected topic, going off track, but it was fun. And we'll do this again next week. I'll discuss my childhood next week. Talk about my memories of childhood. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this completely running off the rails, getting off topic video. I definitely did. And we'll do it again next week. So I hope y'all have a good weekend. Next video will probably be another episode of WWE 2K25. That'll be Saturday night. And then Sunday night will be, I'll upload Saturday Night Horror. I'm watching a movie I've never seen before. The original Poltergeist. Yeah. Never seen it. Gonna watch it for the first time. Anyway, y'all have an awesome weekend. Goodbye.